All right, what up, y'all? It's Ace Boogie, and I'm back with another episode of Fields of Growth. As y'all can see, it's a little different. I'm in the car, so I'm calling this the Car Chronicles. But I want to talk to y'all about care, and the word care for me is a kind of like a trigger word. When someone tells me like, oh, you need to care more, or you don't care enough. So I wanted to kind of get into that because that came up for me recently. Just that phrase or statement, and then it being triggering, and then kind of wanting to dig deep as to why it is that way. So for one of the reasons for me, um, um, growing up, I was the oldest, so ignore my nails, y'all. I'm trying to take them off, okay? Um, Growing up, I was the oldest, so caring for others or providing care for others or being that caregiver, caretaker for others was where I found the most praise and the most validation in who I was. And even younger than that, my grandmother just set like the epitome of an example of how to care for people when you shouldn't, strangers, families, just extended family, co-workers, anybody. Like, she just cared for people really on a godly level. And I felt that, I saw that, and I tried to absorb as much as I could, but I was around her from like birth to 6 years old. So from then, it was like just when I could talk to her or when I could see her and visit, and it was very rare. So, but I still knew that it was something that was rare, and it was deeply in her actions, felt by others, but even in her words, you just felt it. But yeah, getting back to why I felt like it was a trigger for me was, like I said, being the oldest and finding my kind of self-worth, self-validation, or you're doing the right thing, or this is your role, this is what you should be doing in life. It kind of made me I don't know what I want to say. Molded or thinking like, okay, well then marriage, mother, all those kind of things come next in my life. And I was already very much attracted to babies. And hold on, because I think like it might, when I go to upload this, it might be weird as far as the headshot. So I'm gonna kind of like raise it a little bit. But yeah, so like I said, I was always interested in babies. I was always interested in that type of thing. So for me, of course, the family life and all that comes next. So that means boys. And I also found myself overextending and caring more, or showing more care to me in, I guess, the middle, towards the end ish of my dating. In the beginning as well, but definitely in the beginning as well, but I didn't really feel it, or like it start to hit me till like the middle of my dating all around. So I say that was another catalyst for me, because it was like, well, I'm not about to keep caring for people if it's not mutual. So I don't know if anyone saw the post that I made a couple days ago, basically where it said, if shit's not mutual, wait, what did it say? Shit's not mutual, so that's why I move the way I do. And yeah, it's like I started to adapt those habits and those ways about moving. I still keep certain boundaries and things with people now better, but I started to also just like be real, because I also know in my human design, because I have this kind of empty space as far as like there's like, if you know what I'm talking about in human design, like there's nothing filling those spaces for me. So I'll oftentimes not say it or not act upon it, but it'll really drain me, or it'll really just hit me differently from the inside. And I'm trying to do better with verbalizing how I feel, or verbalizing what I want out of others, and not just kind of expecting them to know. But at the same time, to get back on subject, like I said, that care, I was just bitter. I was just like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be this way. If they're not going to do this, I'm just not going to be myself, because it may come off weak. It may come off like, oh, you can get over on her or whatever. The third, like all the things, right? And in recent, and I won't say discoveries, in recent conversation and discoveries, I've just learned that kind of takes away your power, especially as a woman, because that kind of is our power, to care from our hearts, and to care and to show care and to nurture and to be all of the things. And men too, it's just kind of taken away from them in society, because that's not their role. But still, we oftentimes equate, if I'm going to show this care, then that's going to get taken like as weakness, and we don't want to get seen as weak. But it's hard for me. Okay, I'll just say that. Like, it's very, very hard for me. Like, I'll still feel it deeply on the inside, and not really act and move in, like, what is the word? Like, oh yeah, that helped. Portray or like give off like I care. I always have this I don't give a fuck like thing about me, and I'm trying to get away from that, because I deeply do care, and I built that because I've been hurt so many times and let down so many times, especially as a kid. And then being the oldest, just kind of taking the back burner and just kind of learning the no, like it's okay, like whatever. So not really knowing how to even really receive care. So how can I extend it really, or just kind of like properly, because I thought like I should just extend this care over and over and over, and because that was kind of like the way I was taught or just saw, and not really understanding the proper boundaries and things that you also need to uphold for yourself and your sanity. So I was just burning myself out emotionally. And like I said, it's hard for me sometimes to like show the people that I love around me that I care. And I'm trying to get better at that. And not just saying it, because I'm good with my words, but I want to be like better with my actions, like better than my words with my actions, like better than that shit. So I'm trying every day, but baby steps. So knowing that it takes away our power, right? Knowing that essentially this is like, for me, I'm a very humanitarian type person. Like, I'll do it for the team, I'll do it for the cause in a second, but for myself it's kind of hard, which is another reason why I care so deeply for others, because it gave me motivation to get up and do the things that I needed to do in life. And that's another reason, another topic for another day. But also, well, no, I guess it is the day. Also, why with my daughter, like I thought that, because I remember when I was like going to college or getting ready to go to college, and me and my mother were having a conversation, and we were just talking, and basically she was saying, well, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that, like trying to prepare me for college. And I was just like, I don't have that motivation, or I don't have that in me. Like, I don't know if this is gonna work, or I don't know if this is like really gonna play out right, like for me. And she was just saying, well, you have to have that. And so in my mind, I'm like, well, again, baby, family, house, like, well, if I have a kid, then that'll automatically give me, the thing to get up and do, which it does. But at the same time, it doesn't. It doesn't take you out of those depressing modes or whatever. It just becomes postpartum. So because if you're anxious and depressed and all the things before you have a kid, it's just going to be, and you don't have this proper support, it's just going to amplify into what society calls postpartum. And the only way you can really get attention or help is if you call it that. Because if you just say, I'm not feeling down or whatever, people will just look at you crazy or not be so willing to help you. But as soon as you call it postpartum, because like that's really what society wants to call it, and a mix of all these combination of things not being able to adjust, you're just, yeah, been through it, don't want to go through it, don't wish it upon anybody. So for me, it just, like I said, it didn't work. So now I'm still finding myself having to find the motivation and the everyday fillers for those empty spaces for me all the time. And by keeping myself busy, by trying to break bad habits, because I found social media is like how I keep myself emotionally clear. And I'll probably get into that in another topic, but it's just weird. So, and sometimes it doesn't work because you just see murder porn. So, yeah, Black people problems. But, so yeah, I'm working through that word. So when anyone says, you don't care enough, or you need to care more, or this, that, and the third, I love my car. Like, hopefully the battery didn't go out, y'all. Okay, no, it's back. It just, did what it's supposed to do. So, like I was saying, it's kind of like a trigger word for me, and I'm trying to work through that, and just say, like, these are the moments where I need to push myself to actually show the action. So the other day, like I said, when I was feeling this, I acknowledged it. I don't know if I've necessarily shown the action to them, but I've been trying with myself. And if not, then, like I said, then I just have to keep going. But it's one of those things where it's like, well, you're right, and I can't do nothing but take this as motivation. And these are the times when you feel like that in your stuff, I was saying before, that in your soul, those feelings, those emotions that come up, those are the times where you need to dig deep and go against what you really want to do, which for me would be like to just shut down and be like, I'm not gonna do it at all, fuck it, like you just like messed me up, right? And just take away that blessing. Like I said, take away your power when you don't care. So yeah, I'm gonna try to keep this brief because I know I'm coming late. This is really a 420 woo woo, if you know, video. But I'm still being consistent. I'm here, guys. I haven't forgot. I really am making some adjustments in my personal life with 30 hitting. And for me, I try to look at it like quarterly goals in life, like break down the months in every 3 months. So the next 3 months, the springtime is always kind of hard for me because coming up is the death of my grandmother's, her anniversary. And for that, so it's like spring is kind of always a good time for me, but a hard time for me, and a growing, a growing phase for me. But catch me this summer, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna cut it short, but remember, it's a movement. Amen. Ashe.